Alright, jump scare warning, Let's see if I can get something to keep the mic up towards my face while I draw, but it's whatever if I can't. So I'm working on this person's drawing page. Let me put all the folders together real quick. And then I'll start talking about whatever. I'm gonna wait until more people join, but I think I'm just gonna start working on the commission here. So this person has actually 2 commissions that they got from me, so we will be doing both of them in the stream today. And I think I'm just going to be talking about just random stuff, honestly. So nothing really too crazy. I meant to stream over the weekend, but a lot of stuff kind of happened, and I just didn't really feel comfortable streaming, like, in kind of like, I wasn't doing well physically and mentally over the weekend, so I really didn't want to do a live stream when I wasn't feeling so good. And I need to start using like the community posts more often, so I apologize. I'm gonna be honest though, like who actually uses the community posts, but I need to get better at being consistent in the schedule. So I may say like I might do a stream this day, so but to be honest, I'm at this point I think what I'm gonna have is I'm gonna try and do community updates instead, as well as I'm going to try and keep people updated more so through Discord, because that's just the easiest place for me to update you guys. But anyways, so I'm probably not going to be that, like, I may be chatty, I am going to be cranking along these commissions. I have a lot of work to do. And, you know, I'm still at the application game, you know, I'm still working on the applications. I'm still doing all sorts of things to hope and pray and get a job. You know, we do what we must. We do what we must. And I probably will be talking about like various things throughout the stream today. So that will be expected. I don't expect people to stay in the stream, but if you are, awesome. But if you can't, also cool. I appreciate you being here if you're able to, and if not, that's okay too. I do want to start, like, I'm going to be really honest though, I haven't made much progress since on Catfish Hunter comic since I last streamed. So I'm going to update you guys with that. I've honestly been like kind of mentally jazzed like everywhere. Like I don't even know where to focus, honestly. Like it's been pretty hard, and I just want like, I think what I want is like a mental grace or something like that. Like I want a little bit of like empathy, grace. But I know I'll be fine. It's whatever. You know, it's okay. Things happen. So but yeah, all right. So this is drawing somebody's pony soda right now. I'm like speed running, looking at the reference and back over. So I'm hoping I already got approval for both the sketches here, so that's why I'm just jumping straight into the commission. And I told them they can pay whenever they're able to. So typically I don't start working on the commission until after they pay, after, like, so I work on the commission all the way to the sketch, and then I don't accept payment until after they approve the sketch, and then I will continue working on the commission after they pay. But this is kind of an exception because I've kind of been spending like a million years on this poor person's commission, and I'm so thankful that they're so patient with me. I've been dealing with a lot, so it's been really hard for me to just sit down and just crank out like a drawing page or something. These are right now the prices are cheap, but they will be raised significantly, just because like drawing pages do like wipe me out. I that's why I was struggling to work on this person's commission. This They got the commission when it was still cheaper to price, but I'm going to be raising the drawing page prices soon, just for my own mental sake. I'm hoping that it doesn't deter people. Hello, Butter Cubic. I'm hoping that, like, with rising of prices for my drawing pages, that it doesn't deter people too much, but it may, because right now the current price is like dirt cheap. It's like $25, but it's typically because I used to be able to just sit down and crank these out pretty quickly, but I've been really, like I said, I've been mentally struggling, so it's been really hard for me to kind of just sit down and do anything really. Um but so but I'm going to, on Ko-Fi, I do actually have these open on Ko-Fi. So I do have two prices though. So one is the 40 to $45 version of this. This is for any character, any design, and then I have the 25, which is the current price that this person got this design, the commission at. And those are for special interest like commissions. So those are like anything related to any fandoms or like species that I'm really fond of. You can get a discounted price for special interests. Um, and it's just because I will work faster on those. I work faster, and it's something that I enjoy. So I don't feel um like I need to make the price, like, keep the price the same, especially if it's like a simple character design or something. Hello, Nightland McDonut. No, okay, sorry. I'm gonna butcher. Hello. Is it just me, or is the stream super quiet? Probably it's super quiet. And also it's cutting out because my. Hold on. Let me check my audio. Give me 1 second. It says 1 decibel. What do you mean 1 decibel? Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Mic right up to my face, or get like tape and just tape it to my chin. Um, I just have the crappiest mic in the world. Anyways, I think we all know that. Um, I may be able to. I think so. Good news, guys. I did get a interview for a job. I'm not gonna tell you guys what kind of job. Where it is, but I got like a cashier role. It's part time though, so I don't know. I won't be making a lot of money, unfortunately. Um, but it's still something, and my parents won't be on my butt as much. And I know it's. I think it's kind of sad that I get a little bit of disappointment from my parents. It's a maybe. It's just an interview, so it's not confirmed. But um I just I feel, yeah, I don't want to vent too much. I don't want to be like, well, I'm a disappointment, but it's just that it's that feeling of unemployment, um and when you, depending where you are, um the hustle culture is just kind of crazy, if you know what I mean. Like, especially the United States, there's like this added layer of, I mean, we're currently, like, in the United States, we're currently dealing with like late stage capitalism and stuff like that. And so just like anything that's like relating to the job sphere and stuff like that is so toxic, and I can't even explain it right now. There's probably plenty of videos out there of people talking about it. I genuinely would rather not talk about it, as I'm not like an expert, nor have I been in a job since like last year. Um, and I think what puts people off is that I was in a job for like 2 months. But I think what I need to, I always have to explain that I was like doing an internship and then I went back to my job. So, like, that's why there's like a bit of hopping in my resume. But a lot of it is just because I was just like getting experience and stuff. Um, and you know, it's not a bad thing. Let me check this person's reference really quick. I'm trying to see how the side profile looks for this character. And then I'm gonna check the chat too. Jobs are hard to get right now, so good job. Well, it's like I said, it's an interview, so I've been rejected. Like I've been turned down after a few interviews before, so it's not a confirmation that I'm getting the job, but I'm hoping I will. Um, but yeah, and then I'm going to try and apply to some art agencies that are nearby my area. These are typically like companies that, so let's say a marketing company needs to reach out to another company for like art or designs. They'll reach out to like an art agency. And I was recommended to apply to some art agencies, so I think I'm going to try and do that. I have no idea how to draw this character. Sorry, I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, how do I draw this character? All right. Yeah, an interview is still something. I think the part of me is just hoping that I get somewhere productive at least with the interview. And I mean, I need to start doing this more often, but is saying thank you after getting interviews and stuff, like sending a thank you email or something. Sometimes they don't let you, but like if I'm able to, I try to, just to show like, you know, I guess not the profession. I guess it is considered professionalism, but it's more of the nicety of it and all. And I know it sounds super frustrating, and like when I tell people that I plan to I do that and stuff like that, they're like, "You don't need to do that. These jobs are like wasting your time by not even like considering you." And I'm like, "Well, if you say thank you, I'm not trying to be a bootlicker here, but like I think just something as that goes a long way as like saying like thank you for the consideration. That makes them. I hope that gaslights them and makes them feel bad. Not gaslights. I hope it makes them feel bad. Like make them feel bad. Be nice. Kill them with kindness. It's kind of one of those things. Like just shock them. Just. But but yeah, I've been really struggling with like callbacks and stuff like that. Have called a few places and seen like how my like application process is going and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're no longer looking for." Oh, thank you for doing it. Anyways, um, okay. So, not trying to get too much into jobs as I'm working on drawing a My Little Pony character. I I was considering working on doing merchandise. So, I was considering on making like keychains and stuff and possibly selling them. I made like a plan out, but I think the thing is I wanted to do this I wanted to start like a business with one of my college friends, but I think for me to do that I'd have to move down to Florida in the United States if you want to look. But might be a little frustrating for me to I would have to get a job in a different state for me, um and to do yeah to so if I wanted to like move in with my friend, she's down there right now for stuff, but I wanted to start up a business with her, and I'm just like, I can't do that right now. um Me personally, I'm painting a rock real. It's supposed to be like, oh, I think you're cool, and if you get it, try to get a job for them later, they know you're chill. Yeah, yeah, basically it's like, and it's not bad. Like it won't kill them either if you don't even respond either. So it's like you don't really lose anything by just saying thank you, nor do you lose anything if you don't reply either. So like, but I think if you do say something, it does kind of tell them that you're chill and stuff like that. So like job companies. Um I'm just like, to be honest, part of me is like kind of shocked I still don't have like anything. And my parents, they're like, I want you to get any job. And the moment I mentioned that I possibly could get something, they're like, not that one. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. What do you want? And then they imply that I'm the picky one. when it comes to like my jobs and stuff. Like they're saying that I'm picky when it comes to getting a job. And I'm like, I, you know what? And that's kind of fair because I somewhat am more so relating to like career jobs. I'm a little bit more picky, like, but when I mean picky, I mean like I'm still applying to like every art position under the sun. I don't even care if it says senior artist or not, or if it's like you need like 20 plus years of experience. I don't care. Whatever, whatever. I'm going to apply. I need to, I want to get in somebody's radar at least. And that's like, that's my goal right now is to at least get in the radar of somebody. Um, and I've been trying to connect to people on LinkedIn, but they don't accept my connections. So I'm just like, all right, well, I tried. um, so there's that. Next time, tell them to leave their jobs and try getting a new one. Well, the thing though, too, like my like parents are already in a established, like they're already kind of established compared to us. Like if you're just getting into like the job sphere, I feel like it's going to be a lot harder. And I mean, I know I was working past summer and stuff like I have been able to work, but I think what sucks a little bit is that I am newly graduated in the United States. And right now, there's a lot of animosity towards like newly grads in the United States when it comes to like job applications and hiring. They just do not want to train. I'm not going to assume every corporation, but just every it's not profitable for them. So they just can't afford to train new people and stuff like that. And that's the sad thing is that they're not wanting to put in the investment to train newcomers. And I know that's gonna hurt their businesses and stuff. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's gonna hurt their businesses because they're not hiring me. Yes, it is. It's gonna hurt businesses because they're not hiring me. But no, I'm just saying this in general though. Like when it comes to like businesses and stuff, um, it's not sustainable just relying on like um like we have an aging population and it's just I'm trying to get into it all and be like, "Oh, I mean, I'm being so serious though, but um that is just there's a lot to it. There's probably like I said, there's probably videos out there of people who explain it better than me. There's like actual professionals. I think I follow a YouTube channel that talks about like job hunting and stuff, and I've been using this channel religiously as like tips and tricks for myself for interviews and etc. And I mean it's gotten me a few interviews, but not as many as I would like there to be. Um and yeah, I think all right, let's see. Yippee! Yippee! We're gonna okay. Let's see what I can do. We're gonna. I'm sorry, I had to lock in for a second. I was like, how do I draw this? Um, I'm deciding to stream today because I'd rather. I looked up a bunch of art agencies and stuff today, and I am going to see if I can try to contact them to get either connections or see if they are hiring. Most likely not hiring, but or if there's somebody willing to mentor me. Um, Honestly, that might be my best bet is trying to see if any companies or agencies or something are willing to like mentor me and stuff. Like I said, it may be hard because there's a lot of places that just do not want to hire people. So I think I'm gonna have to go at the route of volunteer work if I want to get anywhere. And I know that's like once again that's just like I'm not making any money, but I might as well be a part of like a group or something or um it's it really is kind of like it is the unpaid intern. It is an investment, and it's kind of unfortunate that I kind of have to do that if I want, or volunteer work if I want to really get anywhere. Um, and I mean, wouldn't mind. Like, I don't mind. I think what I personally, I'm in a position where I can say that I don't mind because I do live with my parents, and that like I can invest that time. But I think if I were not living with my parents, that's a different story. I probably couldn't invest that time. I volunteer to work in also known as legal slavery. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. No, that's kind of for real. That's kind of for real. Um no, that's like that's 9 to 5 working at a retail store. I'm joking. Not really. They don't even let you like sit in the United States. I like when I studied abroad, um and I learned that like cashiers in like Prague, they didn't have to like stand all the time, and that was kind of like a weird culture shock for me. That like if I had any culture shock, that was my culture shock. And it's just because for me, I worked as like the previous year before I studied abroad, I worked as a cashier, and I every day I'd come home exhausted, and it's like I would just stand there, and I know it's like you didn't do anything, you were just standing there. Oh my goodness. It's a lot. It's kind of tiring to be expected to stand there all day, and like I think I got more back issues actually from working cash register, standing and stuff than, like weirdly enough, like me hunching over and drawing. But yeah, you would expect that maybe it would correct my back or something. Maybe my back would be finally corrected. No, the opposite. um, I don't really have any like crazy. I don't really have. I think there's something that I do want to say. I don't really have any crazy. Okay, knowing like hearing like people's like retail experience or like food service. I'll be honest, I've never had. Well, no, that's a lie. I've had one person, but I've never had like a problematic customer to the degree that I've had to get a manager. Um I've had customers only twice. I've ever had a customer who who just like degraded me, and I was like, "All right, I got a full line, and I want you to be able to get your item and leave and go do whatever you got going for you, cuz I can tell that you're not having a great day. Um, but let's not make everyone else's day not great either. So, not to be mean. Honestly, I'll be for real. People who like harass like customer service workers, they this is like the one thing that they get out of their day. This is like the thing that makes their day is to harass you and degrade you because what else are they gonna do? There's something probably going on with their life or something that they gotta take it out on you, which as a customer service, um people don't really consider these roles or people as valuable, or they people dehumanize you, so it's easy for them to just take things out on you and stuff like that. So um and for me, working customer service and having having that happen occasionally, when I mean occasionally, it only happened once. And the reason why it only happened once to me, I'm not trying to boast or anything because I have an interview tomorrow, but I'm a perfectionist, I really like to make people happy. I'm a people pleaser, on the sense of with my work. I'm very prideful of my work. I'm very on top of things, and I don't like like have like being I don't like letting people down. So when I was working cashier, it really worked out for me. I will say I did get a panic attack. I almost had a panic attack every day before work though. So, but that's the downside. But the upside is that a lot of people really enjoyed like coming to my lane to check out with me. It's just because like I mean I was a little bit of a robot half the time, but I try to be very cheery. I try to be very nice because I think like I do believe in like just being nice to people. Like you don't know what people go through. And this like obviously includes both like this includes obviously workers, and this includes just customers too. I mean, like I know so many people will talk crap about their customers and stuff, and it kind of rubs me the wrong way too because it's like we're all just humans, and I think and I think if we really want to talk crap about something, we should talk crap about the systems. So, um, and not like the individual people and stuff like that. Like we're all being beaten by capitalism here. So I think if anything, you know, whatever. Oh my gosh, I do love this one customer. She would come and just like trauma dump on me. She would drop her whole life story on me, and I was like, dang, that's crazy. I couldn't say anything else. Like I didn't know what to say. I was just like, dang, I'm not gonna go into details. It's a little traumatizing actually. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it was funny how comfortable she was with just spilling the beans of everything to me, and I was like, all right. And I'm just standing there scanning her items, like, yep, that's cool, I guess. Um, some people just food service makes me want to pull my hair out. That's fair. I worked food service when I was 17, and it was more so because I felt like I think the thing that kind of sucked for me when I was working food when I was 17 is that I felt over like exploited. I was being paid like barely anything. Um and I mean, I know it was cuz I was a minor and it's like, well, you're a minor, but you can't um we whatever. They would have me come in like extra hours and do stuff like that. They would have me working like almost like crazy amounts that they really shouldn't have had me worked, especially for me being a minor. So like if they were using the excuse not to pay me much, they shouldn't really have me come in um all the time, like after hours and this and that. And they had me go and like clean a fridge. I'm not even gonna say the specific like company just in case like if I want to apply to them again. But like no, to be honest, I don't want to. Actually, I'll be for real. I wouldn't want to work for them again. But it's just it's more so because like they overworked me, and I also got panic attacks from that. I will say I didn't get panic attacks from working my last job, the last job that I had, which was personal shopper. Um, I like that job a lot actually. That was my favorite because it wasn't like too much interaction with customers and stuff. Obviously, you're just shopping for people, and then you take it to their cars, and then people are very sweet. People are very kind, actually, when it came to like that. So and I know like there are some people who like judge people who like order food to like or order food or to like personalized shoppers. And I'm just gonna say like people are super busy, and I can't blame people for not being able to go in and shop themselves. So like I'm not gonna be mad at people for that. But yeah, no, i I like to think that I was a very efficient shopper. It was a lot of it was very mentally stimulating for me, actually. That was probably one of the best, like if I were to have a job again, I probably wouldn't mind doing like personalized shopper again. But yeah. I'm like trying to figure out how to draw this character. Okay. Yes. Jellyfish. Yippee, yippee, yippee. I do like drawing ponies. They're very cute. And I'm so glad that somebody wanted to commission me to draw their pony OCs. So, I guess I was gonna talk about. So last night I was actually in a call with Butter Cubic, and I was gonna talk about like things, more personal things like relating to relating to like my adoption and stuff. I feel like I talk about adoption all the time. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna let myself like kind of ease into that topic today. Um, but sorry, I'm gonna be rambling today, obviously, while I'm working. But so there's like multiple things like if I were to tackle this. Um, for me to talk about adoption, I need to find something like absolutely like something that just makes me mad on like Instagram or something, which happens all the time. So I think I literally opened a stream once just to rant about something. Um, I think I already talked about this one video on a stream. I think I already did, so I don't know if I want to talk about that. I'm trying to think of things to like talk about relating to the adoption to help me ease into talking about a little bit more about myself as an adoptee. Um, I'm not gonna force it, but what jellyfish bikini bottom, but bikini got bottom. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Because oh my god. Why can't I draw? Why can't I draw? I'm waiting until another commissioner gets back to me, and then I'll start working on their commission. Um, I actually let's see. I have to take my little brother to his music lessons later today, so you guys probably get me for like an hour or two. But you know, singing lessons. That's cool. That's cool. I'm just trying to think of stuff. All right, so the video I don't think I have it downloaded anymore. I deleted it off my computer, but it's the video where this woman is basically saying, I think I already tackled this topic. I don't know if I want to talk about it again. Um, there's actually, you know what? I do know what to talk about relating to adoption that will lead me into talking about myself. I actually tweeted, so the other day I tweeted about Kung Fu Panda 2. But more specifically about the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. And I think I saw a mutual of mine, an adoptee mutual, um, who is also like a Chinese adoptee. But they were complaining about I'm trying to think. They were complaining about like adoptees in media, that there's a lot of adoptee characters and stuff, but they never have the adoptee experience, if that makes sense. Like they never have the authentic like feeling of being like, oh, that's an adopted person. Because I don't think when people write adopted characters, they don't really give like there's not a lot of the how do I say this? Like there the intentionality that comes with like writing an adoptee character. And it's really hard to explain for me other than just saying the vibe is off for that. Um for example, I'm going to use Batman for example. I personally don't really I don't even think he's an orphan. He's not even an adoptee. Okay, we're actually gonna use Superman. And I know, oh my god, Lou, Superman. Oh, isn't there like the new Superman out? Isn't there a lot of controversy? I don't care. Whatever. I'm not gonna use the new Superman. I'm gonna probably use the older Superman renditions, just because like I never really connected to Superman as an adoptee, but after watching James Gunn's Superman, I actually do. I think I do relate to him as an adoptee because, like, he does have a bit more of that adoptee experience in the film. And I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody because I actually think people should go and see the Superman movie. It's really good. And I feel like if I were to make a review on that movie, then uh, I don't know what else more to say other than maybe I could talk about like the experiences as an adoptee and just kind of like the experience that the character has. And I think if I were to talk about Superman, that is probably what my video would be about, like for me adding anything new to the table. But but I would say that's a good example of actually honestly all I want to talk about are good examples. I don't want to talk about bad examples because like I can't even think of them. Bad example, Umbrella Academy. I'm gonna dog on Umbrella Academy because there's so I know people. Okay, so one of the things is the children are all adopted. So basically it's like the premise of the show is that there's like these. So what happens is these women all around the world, there's like a several months, I don't know, a number of women just suddenly get pregnant, but they suddenly get pregnant, and it's just like instantaneously. When I mean like not like pregnant as in like the old fashioned way, but like they just boom, magic, the baby is now like existent, like some trickery or something like that. And there's this guy, I forgot what his name is. I kind of don't care to remember the names of the characters because the show kind of ticked me off in a soul different degree. But anyways, so there's this guy who goes and adopts like 7 kids. And then what happens is they are actually all these children, all these suddenly born babies, are like they're like superheroes basically. They have powers and stuff. And we follow these kids who were adopted by this guy, and he has like he raises them and stuff like that, and they're like siblings and stuff. And in the it's, I mean, don't get me wrong, they all have the experience of, oh, my father, well, this particular, it's more like their dad, they had daddy issues and stuff. They, in my opinion, they don't really feel, these characters don't really feel like they're adopted to me. Despite like the explicit being like, we're adopted, we have family issues and stuff like that. Now, it would be a slightly different if the story ever had any of the characters want to seek out their, it's not saying that every adoptee would like to seek out their biological parent, but it would be nice if they had at least one character do that, in my opinion. That's like one of my critiques for Umbrella Academy, like the like knowing your origin and stuff. There are characters that have a lot of introspection in the series, but if I were to say to have the adoptee experience for me is like for just possibly that. I'm personally as an adoptee myself, I don't really want to seek out my biological parent, but I would like to return to China, as that's more of something that I would find like more like plausible and more realistic to me personally. But it's also something that I would like to connect culturally. I would like to connect to my roots culturally. If I were able, like, I would love to be able to visit China. um but that's still like, that's, and some, once again, some adoptees are just like completely like fine with just not returning to their roots or where they came from or look for their biological parents and stuff like that. And that's completely fine, but there's a journey, I think there's a self-actualization and journey that a lot of adoptees go through. Not every adoptee, of course, but it's something that I think makes it kind of more inherent to the adoptee experience. And that's something that I kind of wish was more in the film, like in the show series of Umbrella Academy, because they're these characters, they were adopted from all sorts of different parts of the world actually. um And you would think, for me like as a transracial adoptee, that's something that wish they would have put about, like, some I'm trying to say this in like the most like nice way, and I'm really struggling, but it's just something that I wish they were able to do. And I know it's like they probably weren't thinking about that. I mean, it's supposed to be, it's about superheroes and stuff, and it's like, well, Lou, that's not a part of the story and this and that. Okay, so I guess I'll explain. Like, I'm gonna stop tiptoeing around it because I just didn't want to talk about it and why I really don't like Umbrella Academy. But there's like a relationship between the siblings and stuff. And people are like, well, they're adopted, so like it's okay to have like Alabama, and I'm like, what? No, like I what? Like it's kind of, and that that itself is so infuriating to me, actually. Like, I can't even explain how like upset I am about that, that people can just like, I actually do not like care, um people will try and justify uh like Alabama, I'm just gonna call it all Alabama ships and stuff like that, Alabama ships, Alabama relationships and stuff, in media, through, because the characters are adopted or something, and it's like they grew up together. I i don't know what to say. Like, it's so odd, it's so weird to me that people want to like romant not like romanticize about it. I guess it is kind of that, like, they want to, like, I don't like that it's shown in a, it's not even, I guess it's not really shown in a negative light, but it's not really like, it's not really condemned. I wish it was more condemned, and like other characters would be like, oh, maybe that's not like the best idea to date your adoptive sister or something, or your adoptive brother. It's just so odd to me. Anyways, yeah, no, I just had to pop off really quick about that. That's, I like feel so disconnected when it comes to the that series, Umbrella Academy. That's a really bad example of like adopted characters. And then that's like, when I mean bad example, I mean like, this is not what not to do for adopted characters. um but I do think, like I said, the Superman James Gunn version is a really good example. Um, and he's an alien. Like, that's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to talk about Kung Fu Panda now, because I've been aching to talk about Kung Fu Panda. So Kung Fu Panda is probably like one of my favorite like trilogies. I'm not even gonna talk about like the fourth movie. We're not gonna even acknowledge that movie, because like, um I know my interpretation is like my interpretation of the franchise, it's whatever. But I really deeply connect to this series as an adoptee. Um and one of the things, and I mean, it's freaking China too. There's like that added bonus of that, it's also like a Chinese story too. So there's like the adoption, and also there's like the and also being like Chinese, so there's like that intersectionality there for the character, that makes me really heavily relate to Poe and just enjoy the story so much. I cry, I cry fountain when it comes to the movie. That one's harsh. That one comes with a punch, because there's like there's obviously the themes of um like genocide and stuff like that. There's like all sorts of things. There's like loss of identity. There's also like loss of, what once was there too. So that movie is really really rough. But that one, in my opinion, is probably the peak of the adoptee experience. And then the third would be kind of more of the so it's like the second movie, in my opinion, is like the peak of like kind of it's kind of this. The first one is about, all of them are about identity. All movies are about oneself and one's identity. What I interpret the franchise as, because the first one is like, I'm not good enough. I could never be, or I wish I could be like that. I and it's like, you can. You It's just your perception that isn't allowing you to be these things. Like, you are great because of who you are, of just being you. And it's just such a great message of just being you. Um and so, but I know it doesn't really, we don't really go much into the adoption part for movie one, but I think it's a good start, as it's the retrospective of oneself. Now, the second movie of Kung Fu Panda for me is kind of like going into, so you have your retrospective of just yourself, and like, who am I just as an individual, and now you're going to go more in depth of like, oh, well, for Poe, on his hand, he's a panda and his dad's a duck, but he's didn't it didn't really connect. Poe's a little stupid, so he doesn't really have that connection that he's like adopted. But depending for a lot of transracial adoptees, you already make the connection, so they would have already had this like experience of, oh, um baby, I want to, so there's things like, oh, I want to know more about like my origins, and things like that. Oh, I feel really out of place, I don't feel like I belong. And that's kind of something, that's a reason why there's a lot of like, I would feel like I could understand the feeling of wanting to go to either find your biological parents, or go to your birth country, or birth state, city, etc. Because of this feeling of, kind of, for me, it's the feeling of isolation and alienation. And oh, hold on, my computer back is doing something weird. Let me fix something. Okay. So there's like, yeah, so back to what I was saying. Um all right, I'm like losing my brain, my mind. My train of thought is gone. Oh no. Okay. Okay, back to Kung Fu Panda 2. Oh yeah. But yeah, so I can understand like why adoptees would want to like seek out their birth parents, or their their like birthplace and stuff like that. And it's, and like I said, for me personally, the reason why I would like to go to China and go to, like, personally don't really care about finding my birth parent, honestly, and I know that sounds really mean and sad, but I'm really happy with my family and stuff like that. And there's still a lot of complex feelings that I'll explain throughout as I use Kung Fu Panda as a crutch. But so one of the things is that, so going back to I guess I'll go back to Kung Fu Panda. So then, yeah, so then Poe is like, I want to know more about who I am, and then he gets the opportunity because he remembers, he just remembers the traumatic events and stuff. Flashbang for Poe. Um, it's oh my god. Every time I watch Kung Fu Panda 2, I be like crying like a baby. I'm just like, oh my god. And I know it's supposed to make you feel that way, but I'm just like, it hits like doubly hard, because it's like, it really does feel like you're like, it feels like your sense of self was ripped away from you. Like, so many things were ripped away from you when you, like, because what I'm gonna say is, um being an adoptee, you kind of recognize that adoption is all about loss. And I know it's like, but adoptees are able to find families and stuff. Not all the time. It's a very tragic thing, and I personally am very pro adoption, but there's also a lot of things that are very messy about adoption, such as I mentioned in a voice call the other night that the adoption system is like very not perfect. And for my circumstances, and when it comes to like China and the um international adoption, and one of the example, like the reason why is like the one child policy, there was a lot of human trafficking um and the adoption system in China internationally. Like people would literally like steal and sell babies to adoption centers and stuff, or sell babies to adoption centers just in general. So it's really messed up. It's really upsetting for that. So I'm just gonna put that out there. I know this is like, this could be very triggering, and I'm sorry, I meant to put trigger warning. Talking about adoption is triggering, actually. You know what, that's what I'm gonna say. Talking about adoption is so triggering. But so there's that. And I know there's a lot of people, I got into like Twitter arguments with people who um people who aren't like international adoptees and stuff, who are like, well, my adoption wasn't um from from human trafficking. Not all adoptions are human trafficking. um and I wasn't claiming that, and I remember on Twitter I wasn't claiming that all adoptions were from human trafficking and stuff. But for when it comes to like international adoption, it definitely happens. It's a sad reality, and it's something to talk about. And I think the argument really started because there is this one transracial Chinese adoptee who was really complaining about their adoption, um and saying that they were human trafficked and stuff, and people were like trying, like, dismissing their feelings and stuff. And I I personally, I don't know if I was or not. I what? Infant Lou, remembering in the back of Lou's mind when Lou was when Lou was adopted. Ah, yes, I was human trafficked. No, I could never say. Um, I do know that my biological mother left me nearby the orphanage where I was picked up, basically, where the orphanage found me. And what she left with me was just like my name and birthday, basically. Um, and that's all I really know. My family calls me the bridge baby because I was left on a bridge. Nah, I'm not even joking, actually, guys. That's actually the origin story of Lou right there. Um, and it's actually, my parents actually have the newspaper articles that back in like I don't know, I don't know if they still do that, but like back in 2000s and stuff. My mom told me that they would always have postings on their newspapers of baby girls that were found and taken into the adoption centers. Sorry, this is like really sad and depressing for me. I feel really sad and depressed talking about this. um it is really sad and depressing to talk about, and it's something that um and I always kind of have this little, I have a culture shock a little bit, not culture shock, I get a little shocked sometimes when I talk to like other Chinese people who are wholly unaware of the international adoptions and just like anything relating to adoption and the one child policy and stuff like that. um but it's kind of a lot to unpack. Like, for me, whenever I talk about like adoption, um it's a lot for me to unpack, because you have to know a little bit of the context and history behind it. Like, you have to understand, and there are people who are very insensitive about it, who'll be like, are you adopted because of the one child policy? No, duh, bro, are you stupid? Are you dumb? Like, yes, I am. Do you want me to go more into it? Because I can. Actually, no, I would rather not, because it can be like really depressing. Like I just explained to you guys, I just explained that it can be very, hold on, my alarm's going off. Okay. But like I said, it can be very depressing. It can be very it's very hard to talk about. Sorry guys if I'm killing the chat. The chat has been dead for like a hot few minutes. I guess you guys are just like intently listening. Um, yeah. Anyways, hold on. Let me like my computer's gonna lag a little bit because I just plugged it in. Let me see if I can turn the fan on or something in the room. Um, so there's that layer. Yeah, so when I see like the Kung Fu okay, back to Kung Fu Panda 2. We're going to go back to the silly goofy haha. Um back to Kung Fu Panda 2. Whenever I see that scene of like Po and his mom and then the wolves chasing after Po and his mom, I be crying. I be bawling because it's so sad. It it's like I said, it's about like adoption is about loss. And it's a very traumatic thing. Hold on, let me get something. Okay, turn the fan on. Hopefully my PC won't die as fast. So like when I mean die as fast, it's just like if it gets overheated, like I cannot draw at all. So, all right. I got to plug the computer in though, so that's the reason why. All right. But yeah, so there's the sense of loss, which there can be loss of, well, both identity, loss of parents and like your biological parents. Not literally, could be literally, but loss as in like your loss of like culture and like self and stuff like that. There's there's a lot to just to adoption. Um I hope these jellyfish look good, guys. What do you guys think? Quick question: do you like the jellyfish here? Before I continue on, let me lighten the mood for a second. Hold on, let me like make sure this is plugged in. My computer says it's charging. I don't know why it's not acting like it's charging. Okay, now it's charging. Oh, it's lagging again. Oh my god. Yeah. So, but the second movie also connects with me because of just like I know in the end of the movie it's like, well, you're the only dad that I need, stuff like that, like the adoptive parent even when he does because he basically gets his answer of like what happened to his family and stuff like that. And it's just kind of needing to get like that for some people it really is just needing that for some adoptees it is just needing that confirmation, not confirmation, but just kind of that I guess it is confirmation. There's another word for it when it comes to when you seek something out and stuff like that. But I can't really think of the word right now. So and then he's like he kind of has he has the realization where it's like, you know what, I have a great dad. And honestly, I love that he has a great dad. Like, actually, that's one of my favorite. Like, I am so happy Poe has a great dad because there are also a lot of cases where adoptees just do not have great parents and they are abused. And unfortunately, and there's a lot of reasons why, like, there's probably statistics out there when it comes to, like, adoptees and that the adoptees are about to. It's like, um, there is a bit of a over romanticization about like adoption and stuff like that, and like I think behind closed doors for adoptees there's a lot of hold on, hello, welcome to the stream. Sorry, we're getting into some deep adoption talk right now. I'm talking about Kung Fu Panda and also my own adoption. um okay, what am I doing? What am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Ha ha ha. Okay, let me reorient myself real quick, and then like I'll keep talking about stuff. Um, I don't know if you guys have any questions about like you know like adoption and stuff like that or whatever. Like I'm like down to like talk about it and stuff like that. Like um I'm just trying to like I think my main goal was just to talk about like um what I personally I like the perceive adoption like when it comes to like it's and I think I'm trying to say is that I think it's glorified often um and that it's like oh um there's a lot of savior complexes when it comes to parents and their children when it comes to adoptees and that's I think that's what I want to come to talk about is that there's that and um I'm and also like I said there the over romanticization of it too but there's no it's so complex it's actually so complex and um and I really wish that people would tackle it with more care. And I wish that people wouldn't, you know, I hate when people say like, well, they're adopted, so it's okay if they're like they're in a relationship together or something like let's say siblings by the way the siblings are adopted or the sibling is this and that like I don't care like that's not okay like that stuff is like harming like I don't think people realize that adoptees are actually a part of like are a marginal adoption in my opinion like it's one of the best like adoptee like allegory type stories it needs literally it's one of the best adopted stories I'm not even allegory but like the experience yes I would say the experience allegory whatever I mean it is the adopted experience um obviously it's still watered down to like compared to like the full extent of the adoptee experience because it can get really really messy um and I think I explained that a little bit with the backstory of like Chinese international adoption which you know involves like the reason why it popped up in the first place was you know um because of the one child policy and stuff like that. Um, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! This just reminded me. I think I told you guys this story in the stream. I'm gonna do it again because like sometimes I don't think people. Sometimes new people join. Um, so there's this one time. When I was in like I was in like second grade, I think. It was second or third grade. And I was in Spanish class and we were like cutting out like colored shapes to like the Spanish words and stuff. Um and this one kid I was a little stupid kid too, but you know I would always go around. I was so prideful. I was like, "Oh, I'm adopted. Oh my god, isn't that cool to know that I'm adopted from China?" Like that was my favorite like fun fact to tell people. Like that was the thing for me to tell people. And then there's this one kid who was like, "You can't be adopted from China." And I'm like, What do you mean, bro? Like I'm literally adopted from China. Like you cannot just deny that I'm adopted from China." And the reason why the kid said that um I couldn't have been adopted from China is because of the one child policy. And my reaction was, nah, bro, I was adopted from China. The kid probably was like thinking that like people couldn't have excess kids, so like you couldn't just adopt a kid or something. Um, but there's the kid was kind of like trying to think in the right place, but just couldn't hit it. So, um, but I got so mad. I almost brawled with this kid. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was kind of a menace as a kid. Now that I'm thinking about it. Like I was truly a menace. I was truly a menace. Um, but yeah, that one kid, he was my op. I was like, forever, you will now be known as my op. I will, yep. So, but yeah. How long is the stream? 1 hour. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, let's see what I could do. All right. So I guess what I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the third movie. Okay, we're gonna move on from the second movie and talk about the third movie. Uh, is good. Yeah, Poe actually, his biological dad actually comes to find him, and then there's the discussion of, because when parents, there's this thing, so parents will feel threatened that their adopted kid won't love them as much if they find their biological parent. But in the movie, we learn that, it's instead of less love for the parent, it's more love for the child. Um, like the familial love. It's something that I think people. It's a very good message that I think people should take away, is that you are capable of so much more love. You're capable of caring so much more, and it doesn't have to be a give or take system. It can just be a give. We're all in creative mode. Let's say that. Like, people think it's like survival mode, but we're actually, reality, it's creative mode. Like, um people act as if it has to be like all or nothing, but in reality it could just be more. So and I'm just saying, like, when it comes to, like, for Kung Fu Panda, when I'm saying is like, um for Poe to, I mean, Poe still loves his dad and stuff like that. He gets two dads now. Isn't that awesome? And I think you could take this sentiment for the for even just the adoptee story, but you could take the sentiment and also apply it to, like, children who families who have, like, um let's say your parents divorced or something, and now, you have, like, two more parents, but that just means more care for the children. Hopefully that, hopefully it means more care for the children, more love and care for the children. But sometimes people are like, either you love me or you love your stepdad or stepmom or this or that, and people just get, like, really aggressive about it. It's like, bro, we can all just, like, we can all just chill for real. So, oh my goodness, my stomach is hurting. But so that's, like, something to think about, is just, that's my that's the only takeaway I'm really going to talk about from Kung Fu Panda 3, is just that, like, let's say your adoptive child does find their biological parent or something. Sometimes, because there's sometimes the biological parent wants nothing to do with their children, but for, like, I've seen, there's been quite a few cases that I've seen for, like, children, like, for, especially, I'm going to talk specifically about Chinese adoption, but there's a lot of cases where it's like the parents most likely didn't want to give their kid up, and it's such a tragic thing. And and I know that for me to say that I wouldn't want to find my biological parent feels like a slap in the face to her, maybe, but part of me is just like, it's not that I'm lazy, it's just that I'm like, I think I'm content. So it's like, I'm content not knowing. I think I kind of am like, also, I'm like, I think I'm more logistically thinking, like, would I be like, what would I do? First of all, I don't know Mandarin. Like, how would I be able to, I know we got, like, Google Translate and stuff like that, but it's just like, it would feel, I don't know how it would feel for her. I don't know if there's a lot of possibilities that I think I'm more anxious of if I were to seek out my biological mother or something like that. And it's more that I think that I'm more anxious or scared than anything. Not scared of me, like, but it's just like, what would I do? What I think I think it's like, it's for some adoptees, it's just like, I need the urge to find them, and then they would probably ask, like, why did you leave me? Why did you do this or that? And for me, I already feel like I already know the answer. Like, I already know why. So I don't feel as if I need to go seek out my biological parent. But yeah. Sorry guys, this is like a deep stream. I really didn't mean to like drop this all on y'all. I was just talking about a like earlier I was just talking about like a customer lore dumping me. um but yeah, I just why can't I draw? Why can't I draw? Why can't I draw? Please, please. Okay, let's just oh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, the stream is like 1 hour long. I'm sorry. What? Alright. So there's I feel like what I was talking about is like the surface level. Like there's like an iceberg when it comes to like the adoptee experience. And I feel like I just told you guys like the surface level of the iceberg. Because then there's like talking about like your adoptive parents on the other hand too. And that's a little bit more of a touchy subject for when it comes to like the adoptee community. And I'm going to say this though. I feel it's kind of the same problem with the autistic community where the parents will have a lot more say in the community compared to the actual autistic child or the adoptees in the community. And and there's a lot of complicated feelings because sometimes there are parents who do adopt children to have, like, for example, like international adoption. There are actually like white savior parents. There are parents who adopt kids to just, oh, I saved a child from this poor country. And that's very, very problematic. It's very problematic to have those intentions to adopt kids just for the fact that you think that you're saving them, when you should want to be like, I understand wanting to be able to take care. You should want to adopt a kid because you want to take care of a kid, because you want to treat them as your own. And the thing is, there are people who do not treat their adopted kids as their own. People will be like, oh, one of the questions that is very, very odd that my parents will get, I think, is like, oh, is this one, which one is yours? Like, as in, like, biological child. And it's such a rude thing to say to, like, first of all, if you're an adoptee, like, I feel like adoptee parents are just like that's such an off-putting thing to say. That's something that's like outside of the adoptee community, not really within. But it happens a lot, pretty often, where people will be like, "Oh, like, do you have any kids of your own?" Oh, people like this make me so upset. I gotta turn into like a lion or something. Like, Alex the lion. Because like that is the most annoying thing for me to hear, is when people just, oh my goodness, my alarm's going off again. Okay, I don't, all right. But yeah, and it's kind of really like rude. First of all, it's rude. Second of all, like, yeah, so there's a lot. I feel like there's many complications when it comes to like um children, like adoptees and their like adoptive parents, stuff like that. For me, I I don't think I grapple with I don't think I deal with the same amount of, if my family member is like white savior. Don't get me wrong. There are things that I would like to talk about, but I'm going to leave ambiguous for now. I feel like if I were to talk about that, I'd probably make a video or something. Um, and it's really complicated to really talk about, because I can't say that my experience, like, I love my adoptive parents. Um, Honestly, I call them my parents because, like, but for the terms of, this, of my ramble of talking about, like, adoptions, adoptee, and stuff like that, um, I'm just gonna say my adoptive parents because, that's just, that's the term. Um, but yeah, so continuing on, um, there's there's things that my parents, my mom tried to do to help me with reconnecting with my culture, such as like taking me to Mandarin classes, or um, like just there's just little things, or like to taking me to like the lantern festival or something, or changing we she literally convinced the family to move to a different state, so where it was more diverse, so my little brother and I could find more people who are like us. And I am so deeply appreciative of, and to be fair, this is kind of the bare minimum of what you should really do with, like, your, if you have an adopted child. But not a lot of people do this, and they'll keep their children um kind of like it isn't until these children like go to college or go to a place that's more diverse, they're able to like have this kind of culture shift, and for me, I personally didn't really have the like shift until I went to high school. Well, I kind of had a little bit of the shift when I moved to when I moved states, but it wasn't. I think I was able to at least make friends when I moved to. I did go to private school for a short time, but it didn't last long. But but when I was moved into like a public school, I meant private school. It was a much smaller. It was easier for me to make friends. I like to consider these people my friends, but I think they were more acquaintances. I truly only like three friends, I'd say. I don't think I really recognized that. I really thought everyone was my friend. I was kind of I was that oblivious. I was like the oblivious autistic kid. I was like, oh yes, everyone's my friend, for real, for real. But but there, I definitely do think that I recognized that I was different from other kids. Um, as in ethnically wise, obviously. Like, bro, I'm not white, obviously. All right, hold on. Trying to reset myself real quick before I continue rambling. I need to like stretch. Give me 1 second, y'all. Ugh. I feel like if you guys heard me, you probably hear all my bones crack. It's not a good thing. Let me refresh the chat. I don't know if you guys said anything or not. I feel like I'm like gaslighting myself that you guys are existing here, but maybe it's just that my like internet is so bad. Not, you know what? Actually, no, I don't think you guys are talking. No worries. You don't have to talk, y'all. Um, I think it's just that the top yappers are no longer in the chat, so it's okay. Whatever. Number one yappers. All right. I'm tired. I want to finish this. I'm gonna say we're gonna stream until I finish this one question, and then I'm gonna stop streaming. Let me see if I've gotten a message from this one person. I have not gotten a message back. That's all right. That's all. That's fine too. All right. Well, I kind of don't want to talk about adoption anymore, so maybe I'll do that another day where I'll sit down and like I'll actually tell about like my experience like as an adoptee and my like family and stuff like that as whatever. It feels a little bit too personal, but I mean, I did bring it up, so that is on me. So instead, I'm gonna talk about Art Fight again because we're kind of coming to more so past the midway point of Art Fight. Um, and it's going well. It's going well. I think it's a little bit more dead this year for some reason to me. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it. It's really interesting. Um, that it feels dead, but it's not. But maybe that's just my perception of it. And I mean, I wanted to make a video about Art Fight and just like all the shenanigans going on and stuff like that, but um I I think a part of me just like I didn't want to do the whole shebang for some reason. Like I wanted to make the whole video about like the discourse relating to like the misogyny that's like kind of ridding the fan base and just OC community in general, which I do agree. There's definitely like misogyny and there's like internal biases and stuff that people have when it comes to like valuing like male characters over female characters. And but yeah, so and I think one of my takeaways in my video that I wanted to make was that I honestly, and in real, I just, for what I think, if people really have such, like, I do not think people should be harassing creators who have male characters only on their, or mostly male characters on their art fight profile. I think instead they should be uplifting artists and creators who have, like, female characters and stuff on their toy house, not their toy house, but their art fight. If they really like, if you really care so much, I think that's what you should do. You should like support those creators who are already making those characters, and it is okay to like um still point out to artists and stuff like that. But I also think it's a little ridiculous to go out of your way to obviously harass artists who obviously have no intention at all of probably making like more female characters and stuff like that. But I do think the video that went, okay, so I feel like I already talked about this in a different stream, but you know what, who cares? I'm talking about it again, whatever. But it's because I think it's important, that's why I want to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do as much as I can, like attacking, like, I'm trying to attack all sorts of characters. I think my goal this year is mainly like, attacking, like, drawing women and, non-binary, like, just any, honestly, I draw any character, I think. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of don't care. But I do lean more towards women and drawing like femme presenting characters, or let's say just like kind of sometimes, you know what, I love drawing creature features too. It's not even like whatever creature features, people of color, BIPOC, in general. I think it's important to, oh my god, sorry, I think I'm realizing that I missed a detail on this character. Sorry guys, jump scare. Jump scare. Um, yeah, but let me move. I think maybe the reason why, um, I'm starting to think the reason why maybe. Okay, what, bro? There you go. I think the Okay, what was I going to say? I think the reason why um okay, I lost my train of thought. We're going to talk about something else. Do you guys want me to talk about something, or do you have something to talk about relating to the art community, or just anything, any fandoms that I'm in? I mean, I can talk about like Cookie Run. I'm not too well versed in the Cookie Run fandom right now, but like I know the shenanigans be going on in there. Or just like just honestly like anything really. Because I'm probably going to go silent for a hot second because I'm going to be locking in. So I'm going to let you guys just kind of like ask questions if you have anything that you want me to ramble about or say an opinion about like relating to things. But yeah, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to lock in for a second. I'm going to let you guys like type something out and then I'll reply back to you guys. Um Sorry, my streams also. I do also want to apologize that like I never put sounds in the background of my streams. It's just because my computer cannot handle it. I think last time I tried that, I was I was trying to host a live stream where I was like doing a raffle, for my designs and stuff, and instead of like having the goal of like having music in the background while I'm doing it, my computer just absolutely like pooped itself, and it was like, I don't want to work, and I'm like, awesome, great, whatever. So, I mean, it's just that's just how it is. Um, yeah, I do not think I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, just because like I have an interview tomorrow, and I'm hoping it goes well. So we'll see. I'm hoping to get all my what I'm really hoping is to get all my commissions done today because I want to work on my comic um and of course I want to make money, but you know, I want to work on my comic, so I don't want to be. I feel like I'm distracted all the time. I've been so distracted by a lot of things and just life, honestly. Like and I mean like life is telling like I need to get jobs and I need to do all of this and that, and I want to just be able to like quell those thoughts and just be able to sit down and finish the chapter. And I know it's like kind of silly of me to just be like, I just want to finish this one thing, like I just want to lock in and do that. And I know it's just like I kind of have to take the bull by the horns and just do that. So but yeah. And then I maybe yeah, so after I think this week, oh god, I'm like really anxious, like because I really want this job, but I also just like I'm scared if I get the job. I'm scared of kind of losing time, like losing time to like be able to work on things, because I'm still expected to still be job searching. I'm still expected to be doing this and that, and I I really just want to be able to just work on art. And I know that's so unrealistic. It's so unrealistic to just want to sit and draw all the time. And it's something that I love to do, and it feels I'm gonna just be honest. Sorry, I'm still rambling. I know you guys. I asked you guys to ask questions, but now I'm just like I'm just pouring my heart out here. There's a part of me that just feels like um I don't want my passion for art to die, of course, but I also just want to. I do want to be able to create my own stories. I do want to do all sorts of things. And I know for me to be able to do that is like I have to make money so I can like survive, and then I could be able to like support my artwork. And all I'm thinking is I just hate the capitalist system so much. I I know I'm going to be I know I'm going to have a lot of struggle. I know that it's that's just how it is, and like it's unfortunate that that's how it's going to be, like that I that we that things are going to be hard if I want to be able to create and things like that. And I'm scared that if I'm not able to create, then um not that I failed, but I just can't imagine myself doing anything other than creating, if that makes sense. And if I and part of me is like, and people are like, it's okay to change your career, it's okay to do this and that, and I'm for me, this is something that's so integral to my life. This is something that's so integrated in my life, and I honestly, I think it's scary to think that if I were forced to do anything else, like what would I do? Anyways, I'm not trying to get too buttery about that, I guess. Whatever. No, I don't want these tabs. Okay. Whatever. Like, I know so many people be just like, just suck it up, just get a job, make money, and this and that. And it's a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit more complicated than that for me. Like the feelings and emotions when it comes to just like, cause I don't want, like, sometimes I just don't want to make money. Like, it's not that I don't want to work, it's that I don't want to make money. And I know that's like crazy. That can sound so crazy to some people, like that I would not, that I would rather like part of me is like I'd rather starve than make money. Like I actually I don't like making money. Um it's obviously we want to say we like making money because that's what gets us food, this is what gets us stuff, and that's just capitalism talking. But it's like I just want to draw. I just want to create stuff all the time. And I know it's such an unrealistic thing for me to want. And I hate how it's so unrealistic of me to want to do that. And I know it's like, well, what's going to pay your bills? What's going to do that? You're like you're living in a fantasy if you want to do what you love. Like, and is that so, and I'm going to be honest, is that so wrong? Is that so wrong to want to just create? Is that so wrong to just want to like do what you're so passionate about? And people, there's almost, it feels almost like a disdain for creative work. Like I always feel as if there's like a disdain for it in the general public for some reason. Like, oh, that's unrealistic of you to want to create art. That's not going to make you money. That's not going to do this and that. And it's like, we get paid dirt poor because we do what we love. We're doing what we love to do. And companies know they can take advantage of us because this is our dream job. Our dream job is to make art, is to create. And they want to take, and these companies take that, and they want you to like, it's just I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little, I'm kind of just talking out of my butt, like. And I know there are probably some brighter sides to things, and I just think it may be like unrealistic and almost idealistic of me to just like think, just kind of almost dream about like, what if I could just draw all the time. So, and I mean, I think even when I was like working like retail and stuff, I still, even if I was butt tired, like if I was so tired and I just couldn't do anything, I would still come home and I would still sit down and draw. Like, I don't think it mattered to me much. Like, it may have drawn at a slower pace, and it sucked that I did draw at a slower pace, but I, all honesty, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could live without like sitting down and drawing. I think the only difference though when I did have a job is that um I was able to like focus more on like what I wanted to do, as in like drawing free stuff for people or this or that, because I actually had an income. So, maybe it wouldn't be as bad if when I do get a job. And even if it's just like part-time, I'd still be able to come home and sit and work on my own projects and stuff. And um and I think a part of me is just scared that like if I get like an actual job, like a full-time job, that I wouldn't be able to have any time, or I'd be so tired that I wouldn't be able to draw. And then there's the other part of me that knows that's like that wouldn't happen because I am a freaking workhorse. What do you mean burnout? That doesn't happen to me. I mean, it does happen. But I I don't know. These are just like these are thoughts that I'm kind of just talking like what my thoughts are saying. And I know some of these are just like some of these are irrational. That's like, oh, you're not gonna have any time at all. But sometimes it's kind of true. Though. Like sometimes people just like you're everything that you love and care about, like your aspirations, your dreams and stuff. They just die the moment you like start like working like a 9 to 5, and it happens. So, but yeah, I'm not trying to be too doomerism though. So I think I'm just letting the anxiety get to me when I'm like thinking about like yeah, getting a job and stuff, even if it's just like a part-time job, or this or that. And my parents want me to get a full-time job. Fair enough. I don't get me wrong. I want to get a full-time job too, but realistically, I'm not going to be able to. Like all these companies are like, you need to work up to a full-time job, bruh, because they don't want to give you benefits and stuff like that. So, um, but yeah, yeah. What am I doing? Oh man, I'm gonna have to do the hair of the chibis now too. Oh my goodness, I've been kind of spending a lot longer than I typically would on my drawings, but um, this is why I need to like up the price of these commissions because like these ones could be a little bit hard. But yeah, um, we're gonna chill out a little bit. We're gonna chill. We're just gonna chill a little bit. Um, and then probably I'm gonna end the stream after I chill about like talking about stuff. Let's color this. Oh my goodness. Oh, maybe I should make my little pony merchandise. Twilight Sparkle. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, guys. Whatever. Whatever. Oh no. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna lie. I've been yapping. I've been yapping. I don't think I have anything else much to say, really. Hmm. Okay. Oof. Didn't want to do that. Joy. Oh no. Okay. I am. Woof. Why did it? What? Oh my goodness. Bucket fill, and then it just like obliterates the whole canvas. Oh no. Maybe it would be cool if I did. Maybe I should work on the Storm video game that I wanted to do, and I should just do devlogs on Twitch or something while I work on it. I feel like I need a stronger PC though to do that. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm getting tired. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Um, which honestly, it's not bad. Like, look how far I'm in this commission. I just want to be able to finish this up so I can send it to my client. But I'll talk to you guys another day. Hopefully, I'll stream sometime other this week when I feel like it or something like that. All right. I'll probably. I mean, I think what I'm gonna do is I mentioned this in the beginning of the stream, so I'm gonna do it again. I think have. I'm going to put notices on the community of what day I'll be able to stream or when I think I could be able to stream. I'm hoping possibly Wednesday, but it might not. That might not be sure. Um, the weekend, I'm gonna try and do Wednesday and the weekends like typical, but if that's not possible, then it'll probably be like Monday or something like that, like today. I'm gonna just try my best to. I'm gonna try my best to do more streams often. Um, I know I probably it's doing streams is kind of more getting into a habit of doing content creation again, and for me right now, like I not knowing what will work for me job wise, that's why I'm trying to start up my streams and stuff again. But I know it's like for me to do a stream, I'd have to really have like a personality and stuff like that for people to latch onto and be interested in for what I say or whatever. But I don't know, whatever. I mean, if you guys have any topics or something you want me to talk about, like when the stream ends, you can comment it and I'll look at the comments and I'll try and talk about them either in a video or the next stream. So, or if I make a communities post, I'll try to do more community posts. I'll try to just upload art and just talk, um, and be more interactive. I think that's what I'm gonna try and do. But I'm gonna end the stream here. It's almost been 2 hours, and I'm kind of like losing my attention span, and I just kind of want to finish this drawing for this client. So, I really appreciate y'all hanging around. And thank you so much for dropping in if you did, and if you left, that's chill. But thank you so much. I hope y'all have a great day, and please take care. And sorry for my long-winded ramble and kind of depressing like rant today. I didn't mean that to happen. I'll try to make sure next time is more chill, like upbeat. I mean, at least I wasn't yawning the entire time like last stream. So, but yeah, I know I keep saying I need to do like a gamer stream, but I'm gonna be honest. Playing video games is just not an option for me unless it's the weekend. So, um, and playing video games doesn't make me money, unfortunately. And